Jerome Powell said there will be bank failures due to commercial real estate and some Florida HOA news. Hi, it's Edward, back with another video. Please take a moment to click the thumbs up button below and consider subscribing to the channel. Please also share this video with your friends. Thank you for your support. Today, I read several financial news articles. I've included links to the articles in the description below. I encourage you to read the articles to support the authors and news sources. As a private American citizen, I'd like to report and share my transformative thoughts through commentary regarding small sections of these articles that are of public interest. Today, I read an article on Yahoo Finance put out by MoneyWise and written by Sarah Lewis, titled, "It's Paradise Lost. Florida's condo market is floundering. Here's why one expert says some of the boomers who helped make the state great are the ones suffering the most." According to the author, insurance across the state ballooned by about 40% in 2023, along with homeowner association fees snowballing due to new condo regulations. The author referenced Juan Castro, a Redfin Premier agent, who said condos that used to have a $400 monthly maintenance fee now have a $700 fee, and it's causing buyers to rethink their plans. Well, my friends, I have personal experience with condo ownership. At one time, I owned 6 condos. In my opinion, owning a condo is kind of like a marriage, except you are not financially tied to one person, but a lot of people. If other owners or their guests do some dumb things, it could impact you financially. I'll give you an example. In the condo community where I owned units previously, someone, probably a drunk person, broke off sprinkler heads in one of the hallways. This resulted in high-pressure water being discharged, which then ran down several floors and flowed into several units, resulting in damage. Eventually, the water made its way to the ground floor units where it made a big mess. This was a big insurance claim that the HOA's master policy paid out. There had been some prior claims as well, so this resulted in the insurance premium going up, and the insurance agent said any future claims could result in the policy being canceled. The HOA had to pay for the more expensive premium somehow, so monthly HOA fees went up. I didn't do anything wrong, but my cost of doing business for my rentals increased because of the behavior of someone else. Here's another problem with condos. Many have boards with volunteers who often have no experience with property management or property maintenance. Many make foolish decisions that can result in big problems for the community. For example, deferring maintenance this year could result in more expensive problems down the road. The problem with this is many HOAs don't have adequate cash reserves. The community where I bought my 6 condos had some cash reserves, but not enough to make all of the updates that I felt were necessary moving forward. When I owned 6 condos in the community, I had each condo in a separate LLC with separate bank accounts for liability purposes. I ran each condo like an individual business. I was always interested in investing in each one of these little cash machines to keep them very nice. And I was always interested in investing in the condo community to keep it nice as well. Unfortunately, other people were not interested in doing that because they couldn't afford to do so. Many used their condo rentals like an ATM machine to pay for their vacations, their new car, the remodeling for their primary residence, etc. Whenever I pushed for capital improvements at the condo community that would need to be funded by a special assessment or increased HOA fees, few people were interested in doing that. I always wanted to keep the community as nice as possible so that I could charge maximum rent. I wanted the community to shine like a new penny. Even when I became the president of the HOA, I faced resistance from the owners to spend money. Many wanted to put off maintenance and capital improvements. One thing that really surprised me were the number of people that would refinance their condos regularly. Some of these people just wanted to siphon out as much money as they could. They were living beyond their means. Ultimately, I decided to sell all of my units because I did not like the direction things were going. Unfortunately, I was not able to rally the votes necessary to approve what I felt were needed special assessments. Getting back to the article, the author referenced the 2021 Surfside condo collapse, which killed 98 people. That was a tragedy. In Florida, depending on the height of the building, inspections are going to be mandated, and some condo associations may be on the hook for some very expensive improvements in the future. In my opinion, there may be owners who will be forced to sell their condos because they won't be able to afford to cough up the money necessary to pay special assessments or increased HOA fees. I think we will start reading about more people who were put into a financial situation where they had to sell their condo in Florida. I really wonder if we could see an uptick in short sales or foreclosures with some of these condos because people will not be able to sell them for what they owe. The author of this article said, and I'll quote, "Sellers are now struggling to offload properties saddled with the additional costs of condo ownership." I'm going to share with you an interesting quote. Redfin reveals the median condo price in Jacksonville dipped by about 7% year over year in January. Sales declined 27%, and new listings surged by 32%. In Miami, condo prices dipped by 3%. Sales dropped 9%, and new listings rose 27%. Well, my friends, I think we could be reading about more of this in the future. Some of these old condo communities need a lot of money invested in the buildings, parking lots, pool areas, etc. This could not come at a worse time, given how much materials cost now and how much contractors are charging. I read some of the comments beneath this article, and some really resonated with me. One commenter said, "Never buy into a community where other people spend your fees." The board members of most HOAs are wannabe politicians that haven't a clue what's necessary to run a community association. These people can't even manage their own household budgets, let alone a multi-million-dollar annual HOA budget. Another commenter said, "Hurricanes, alligators, and consistently lax building standards, what could go wrong?" The last comment that I'll share with you came from someone who said, "Buying a condo anywhere is a dangerous game when HOA fees are involved. They've never been locked in or well regulated. You set yourself up for an ugly surprise." I never considered a condo even before all this started because of the unknown HOA cost factor. Well, my friends, what do you think about all this? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. On the topic of real estate, I think you will find this next article interesting. I read this article on yahoo.com, put out by The Hill, and written by Tobias Burns, titled, "Powell, There Will Be Bank Failures, Caused by Commercial Real Estate Losses." According to the author, Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell said Thursday he expects to see some banks fail due to their exposure to the commercial real estate sector, which has declined significantly in value following the shift to remote work. Well, my friends, it's not just remote work. It is also the rise in interest rates. Many of these commercial properties are financed with short duration loans with long-term amortizations. Some people are put into a situation where they can't refinance. The numbers just don't work anymore. We saw bank failures last year. I have to wonder, how many could we see moving forward, and what officials are going to do to intervene? I think they set a dangerous precedent last year with Silicon Valley Bank. Jerome Powell went into more detail about what types of banks he thinks might fail. He said, and I'll quote, "It's not a first-order issue for any of the very large banks. It's more smaller and medium-sized banks that have these issues. We're working with them. We're getting through it. I think it's manageable is the word I would use." Well, my friends, I personally am not instilled with a lot of confidence when someone uses the words, "I think." That makes me very nervous. Jerome Powell also went into detail about what the Fed is doing about this bank situation. He said, and I'll quote, "We are in dialogue with them. Do you have your arms around this problem? Do you have enough capital? Do you have enough liquidity? Do you have a plan? You're going to take losses here. Are you being truthful with yourself and with your owners?" Let me ask you a question. After all of the shady stuff that transpired during the great financial crisis, such as the robo-signing, do you think some of these banks are being responsible and truthful? I don't have a lot of faith, but that's just my opinion. I think things could get real in the commercial real estate industry moving forward. But what do I know? I'm just some guy on YouTube. I read some of the comments beneath this article, and I found some of them to be very interesting. One person said, "Let it happen. Consumers have some protection, but let the banks fail." The banks wanted the deregulation. They made the decisions. They can enjoy the consequences. Another person said, "But the bank executives will still be able to keep the billions they made on the bad loans. Only in America." The last comment that I'll share with you came from someone who said, "There will be bank failures that the middle class will be forced to pay for, and bank executives will walk away with $5 trillion in corporate welfare." There you go. Headline corrected. What do you think about all this? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Please keep in mind that everything in this video is for entertainment purposes only, and nothing in this video is financial advice or advice of any kind. If you need advice, seek advice from a qualified professional in good standing who puts your interests first and foremost. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to the channel. Please also consider sharing this video with your friends. I want to extend a special thanks to everyone who has subscribed to this channel. I want to also thank all of my channel members. Check out some of the great books that I suggest you consider reading in the description below. I've included Amazon affiliate links to these books. As an Amazon associate, I earn from qualifying purchases. Stay healthy and wealthy. I'll see everyone in the next video.